very big day in court today. Well, actually, let me make sure we're live. Hello, everyone. We've got slow service at the courthouse again. Let me make sure. I have a guest here with me, but first let's make sure we're live. And then another guest coming. Hello, hello. Okay, 2 thumbs up. We're on. Okay, I have someone really special here with me, one of the witnesses today for the prosecution's rebuttal. So let's first tell you what happened, and then we'll have MacKay on here, and then we're gonna have Lisa Marie on here as well. So today the defense rested. They had one more testimony that was absolutely heartbreaking. We're gonna get to that in just a second, because first we're gonna talk to MacKay. And MacKay testified today. He for the prosecution. He knew Garth. And MacKay, come over here real quick. We just stand here and we make sure not to get. This is MacKay. MacKay testified. So I met his dad during the longer morning break, and I met him with you met Aunt Vicky and Tammy's cousins, and I just felt, I just want to say this. I thank you for your testimony. You testified that what Garth said to you while you were working at the haunted house. Is that correct?
Yeah.
It was a very short testimony, but a very powerful testimony. And my thought is, I just want you to know that I felt like it was, if you see something, say something type of testimony. Is that how you felt?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Was it hard to, when this investigation was going on, how did you go forward to investigators, or how did you tell your story or what you had heard?
I told my parents when I got home from work the story that I heard from Garth, and then they reached out to Detective Mattingly because they know him, and then he reached out, or he had to have another detective contact me because I was an acquaintance with him. I knew him, and so that's kind of how my story got on their radar, and so
okay,
pretty cool.
And then the story is just to confirm that. And could you say that statement? It was in court. We can hear the public testimony.
Yeah, so it was the following weekend. Garth was back at work, and he was pretty quiet for the majority of the night. And then I kind of went up to him, and I was like, hey, sorry to hear about your mom. And that's when he told me that he was the one that found her. He found her when he got home from work the following weekend, or the previous weekend. And when he found his mom, he couldn't find his dad, and I don't remember if he said that she was in the bed or next to the bed, but she was very pale and her lips were blue.
Okay, and her lips were blue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then really quickly, Lisa Marie, come right over here, and we'll oh, you declined. That's good. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you. It was so nice talking to you, and I completely understand. Yeah, Lisa Marie's chosen not to go on, but you did an amazing job today. Thank you. I completely understand. Thank you for sharing that, MacKay. And I guess, and I want everyone to know too, the last podcast on our Spotify and our Apple was actually about some evidence that I was hearing that concerned me. And I just want you to know that it was my concern that poor Garth might have been traumatized and found his mother. And so what you're saying is that what you heard, and you can't speak to what the truth is, but what you heard from somebody is what you shared today.
Right, yep.
I just want to thank you again, MacKay. I know you have a long ride home, but I think, again, if this case has taught us anything, it's if you see something, say something, and you did the right thing, and your testimony was really important today. I just want you to know that I've sat through every day of this trial. I've been here for 2 months, and not every testimony matters, but yours did today.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So I want you to know that. So thank you for what you did today.
Yep.
And have a good drive home.
Okay,
We'll see you. Thank you. Thanks, MacKay. It was an incredible testimony by MacKay, an incredible testimony by Lisa Marie, who's decided she's not going to talk, but I want you to know that I spoke to her and told her how meaningful it was. She's still friends with Emma Daybell Murray, and she was friends with Tammy Daybell at work, and they spoke together. Those were the 2 witness testimonies that we heard on rebuttal today from the prosecution. Today started, it was just soul crushing. So in the courtroom are 2 of Tammy Daybell's cousins, Patty and Julie, as well as Aunt Vicky. Julie is Aunt Vicky's daughter, and Julie knew Tylee as well, and JJ and Charles. She knew them all. They had gone to church together, and her daughter is friends with, was friends with Tylee. Then there were Dawson, our friend Dawson, was also there, and it started out an absolutely heartbreaking. Here is Dawson, and like, can I turn it? Can I say hello?
Come on, Dawson. Come
Dawson.
on here, son.
There we are. There we are. Say hi, guys. We're live.
No.
Hey, y'all.
With our
How
hidden
y'all
gems.
doing?
How do you feel about the end of the day, Larry?
Wonderful.
It was a good day, wasn't it?
It was a great day.
It was a heartbreaking day at the beginning, but it was a good day for justice.
It was a great day for justice.
Absolutely.
The witnesses are spot on. They're truthful. And I think the judge made good rulings today.
He really did. He really did.
I think they were fair and honest.
Yeah, you can tell how measured Judge Boyce is, and he
Absolutely.
really thinks about every objection. His goal is to be fair,
That he is.
and that he is. I agree. So thank you. Thank you.
Love you, baby.
Love you too. We'll see you later. Dawson, I hope it was a good day for you too. Do you feeling good?
Yes.
Good. Thank you. So in the courtroom today, it started out, John Pryor brought his last witness, which was an anthropologist who studies how, burn patterns on bodies and has experience there. And what he shared about Tylee was, his goal, I think, was clearly to say Tylee's remains may not have been burned on Chad Daybell's property. Tylee's remains might have been burned somewhere else, and there's some bone that is still missing that were not recovered. So where is this bone? Never mind that Chad Daybell sent a text about shooting a raccoon and burying the raccoon in the pet cemetery at the exact same time that Alex Cox's phone was pinging on his property. So best case scenario, there really was a raccoon that Chad shot that he buried, but if that was the case, then he would be saying hi to Alex Cox. Oh, what's up? What are you doing here, dude? I'm burying a raccoon. What are you burying? Right next to me in the exact same spot. I mean, that's best case scenario. So it's really hard to buy, right? Like, it's not going to make a difference with the jury when they look over all of their evidence. But what this testimony is going to do, and what it did to so many people in the room, there were tears streaming. What it did do was tell us just how brutal Tylee Ryan's death was, how careless, how shocking, that all of our worst fears are coming true, that once again, when doubt starts to seep in and you're like, maybe it wasn't that bad, maybe it was okay, maybe it was fast, maybe it wasn't so bad. No, then we learn about blunt force trauma on her ribs, on her sternum, on her head. And you know what happened when there was cross-exam by the prosecution? So after Pryor sat down with his witness and the prosecution got up to cross, and they asked about the blunt force trauma, and the guy said, yes, there was blunt force trauma, the sternum, the ribs, the head. It wasn't Chad that nodded this time. It was John Pryor that nodded. John Pryor nodded like, yep, I know about this. And then he gets back up to redirect John Pryor after the prosecution's questions. There are tears. Excuse me, tears streaming in the courtroom. And he gets back up to cross, and he asks one thing of his witness, John Pryor, and it's the blunt force trauma, by the way, as in like confirming that it exists. Okay? The blunt force trauma, dude. Could that have happened somewhere else, not on Chad Daybell's property? And the guy's like, yes. And we're all just like, what? Tears streaming, mouths drop, hearing the brutality once again of Tylee Ryan's death in court, while her people that knew her and loved her are in the courtroom, while the jury had looked appalled. They looked appalled and hurt and shocked again, thinking of Tylee Ryan. And John Pryor's redirect is, let's confirm the blunt force trauma to her, but that might not have happened on Chad's property. He probably should have concluded with Greg Hampikian yesterday. To conclude on this witness testimony for the defense was probably the worst thing he could have done for defense, and the best thing. Live is allegedly still on somewhere, just so everybody knows, but I can't see it. So